In this section of the chapter, we're going to talk about triangles. Now, one of the important things that Euclid did is he proved that the angles of a triangle, 1, 3, and 5 here, would add to 180. And he did that using parallel lines, the rules for that we discussed in the last section. So let's use that. We know that these add to 180, okay? And they want us to find the measure of angle A, so we're looking for this one. Well, add these up, they add to 137. Now all we have to do is figure out what is angle A so that it adds to 180. We do 180 minus 137 and we get 43. This one would have to be 43 degrees for everything in this triangle to add to 180. So anytime you have two angles and you're missing a third, you subtract them from 180. Okay, let's use that relationship again, only on a bigger one. All right, so we are going to find everything that's missing, angles 1 through 5. They gave us a couple of hints here. We know this triangle adds to 180, and we know this triangle adds to 180. So let's start on the 1, 2, 43 one. Let's see if we can get any of these angles. Well, if this is 90, this is on a line, so this one has to be 90. So the measure of angle 1 has to be 90. Now we have 90 plus angle 2 plus 43 equals 180. 90 plus 43 is 133. And then when we solve for angle 2, we are subtracting 133. And we find out that angle 2 is equal to 47 degrees. So this one right here is 47. Now these are vertical. So we know that angle 3 is 47. So let's look on the next slide. Angle 3, 4, and 60 add up to 180, but we just said, hey, angle 3 is 47. So now we know two of the angles. If this one is 47, right, very well, 47 plus 60 is 107. And then 180 minus 107 gives me 73. So that tells me that this angle is 73. Now we have one thing left to find. We have to find number 5. Notice that 4 and 5 are on a straight line. They add to 180. So if we do 180 and we subtract 73 here, we end up with 107. So that tells me that angle 5 is 107. Now we've solved for all of them. We can also classify triangles by their angles and by their sides. So if all of the angles are less than 90, acute, it's an acute triangle. If you have one 90-degree angle, then that one is going to be a right triangle. If you have one angle that is more than 90 degrees, that one is considered an obtuse triangle. Now when we look at their sides, if two sides are the same, it's called isosceles. And by the way, the base angles across from those two sides are also equal. If all the sides are equal, that's called equilateral, and it's also equiangular. You take 180 and divide by 3, you find each one is 60 degrees. And last, if none of the sides are the same, they're all different lengths like that, that's called a scalene triangle.